Now, about the SpaceX, and as expected, some of the globe believers, out of pure desperation, referenced the so-called satellite release the other day, which in fact was a bubble fest. As expected, they've claimed that what we saw were the bubbles, that they were ice crystals that have actually come off the rocket itself. That was to be expected. And that was kind of a trap that I laid that out there, if I'm honest. And as we're going to see now, that is quite frankly ridiculous and actually shines a light on the flawed logic that is the globe believers. You will just come up with any old crap that defies any kind of logic just to confirm your bias. So first, let's just see the clip again of this infamous underwater satellite release, which literally is a bubble fest. And then I'm going to show you, using a couple of candles, that what they claim is actually happening in space regarding the footage we're about to see is nonsense. Again, this infamous satellite release. The camera is, I'm guessing, on the top of the rocket, second stage rocket, looking up, of course, at the satellite and the direction the satellite is going, okay? But what we're going to see after the satellite supposedly has been released, to the right hand side, loads of bubbles. The globe believers will say that is ice crystals that have come off the rocket, but as we're going to see after we've seen the footage, and I'm going to show it to you, that is ridiculous. So let's have a look at the footage.
Payload deploy confirms.
And now to the right hand side, we're going to get hundreds of bubbles. Here they come. 1, 2, 3, loads of them now. Loads of bubbles. Some on the far right side, most are on the right hand side, right? Away from the rocket booster, the second stage. Look, all coming in from the right hand side. So, we're now going to model this. Very, very in a raw state using 2 candles. But that's all it takes to highlight the absurdity of all of this nonsense. You gotta laugh, but that's literally all it takes, is 2 candles to debunk this nonsense. Right, okay. This is my second stage rocket, okay? A candle. This is my satellite to be released, another candle, okay? And let's use a bit of a heliocentric imagination. The curtain around this rocket and satellite is space, okay? So it's nothingness, the vacuum of space. So the heliocentric believers are claiming that when this satellite is released and it goes up, that the ice crystals are coming off this second stage booster, okay? But here's the problem, guys. The camera is somewhere here looking up as we get the supposed satellite release. The camera's here, isn't it, looking up, and off goes the satellite. And of course, we see all, I don't know, 90% of the bubbles or ice crystals over here on the right going up from this camera. So if you're claiming that ice crystals have come off this booster, that means they've had to have travelled from the booster across over to the right. So if they've done that as a result of the reaction of the satellite being released, that's fine. But their direction would continuously keep going. It would need something to apply direction to it to suddenly change direction and go that way, chasing the satellite. This is why your explanation of ice crystals coming off the booster makes no sense whatsoever. Because if that was the case, we would have seen the ice crystals, we wouldn't have seen them, full stop. They would have been going this way. And of course the camera's facing up. But we're seeing the ice crystals travel up that way, chasing the satellite, which is of course going up that way. How is that possible when the ice crystals are attached to the booster? And if they've moved, that means they've gone right. So if they're traveling right, what suddenly changed their direction and they've taken a left turn here and decided all of them to then go up that direction and chase the so-called satellite? That is impossible. You don't have wind in your heliocentric space. If you're claiming ice crystals have come off here, then they've had to travel to this direction to go into the path they were going, a straight line that way. So what changed the direction or its path from going out this way off the booster to travelling that way? What changed its direction when we've got nothing here? SpaceX have destroyed themselves and heliocentric space, and the heliocentric believers' explanations for this nonsense just highlight the absurdity of it even more, and the failed logic that is applied by the people that believe they live on a cannonball flying through a vacuum. Ridiculous. The excuse or the explanation that is cited by the globe believers is nonsensical. Ice crystals exploding off a rocket, then changing direction by 90 degrees. Whee, let's chase after the satellite. We became quite attached to that. Nonsensical rubbish. Worrying that people are willing to put, or just haven't got, the logic or discernment to work this stuff out. It's quite obvious that this is what was going on. The satellite went up to the top of the pole. The resulting energy as a result of the satellite being released, or prop rising to the top of the pole, the energy went into the base of the pole, travelled along the support beams that hold this prop, supposed second stage rocket, hit something else, another prop or something else, or the runners, and we saw the resulting air bubbles rise up to the right. Sorry if this upsets you or destroys your belief system. Heliocentrism is scientifically impossible, and no amount of space pantomime is going to change reality. I'm sorry. It pissed me off when I found out that all we've been taught as far as the fundamental blocks of life, i.e. where we are, were fucking false. That's why I choose to speak up about it.